So do you mind if I record your voice?
No, that's quite all right.
Okay. What do you remember about World War II?
Oh, I remember a lot about World War II. I remember the day Pearl Harbor was bombed. It was Sunday. We'd just gotten home from church, and my brother came in and said to my dad, "Turn the radio on. The Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor." I was 8 years old. I really didn't know where Pearl Harbor was, or probably didn't even know about the Japanese. But from that day on, our life changed drastically.
Were you aware of the war that was already going on overseas before Pearl Harbor was attacked?
No, I was not.
Was any of your family members aware of it?
I'm sure that my older brothers were, yes, my father.
Did you have anybody that was in World War II?
Yes, I had 3 brothers, a brother-in-law.
How did the war affect your everyday life?
Well, we went through a lot of changes because things were rationed. Sugar was rationed, butter was rationed, coffee was rationed, shoes were rationed, cars, tires were rationed. Our school became very involved in the war effort. We gathered tin cans, newspapers. We bought stamps for war bonds every week, and we had contests to see which class could gather the most tin cans and stuff.
Did you win anything for like?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. We had a point system, and you went up, I guess you were like private, corporal, sergeant, etc. And I moved up quite rapidly. And we also had a lot of drills, air raid drills. If the planes were within a certain distance, we all had to sit in the hall with our heads between our knees. If the planes were far enough away that we could arrive home safely, we were lined up and walked home. It was easy for me because I lived across the road from the schoolhouse, so I could get home quite easily. And we also had a lot of blackouts at drills and air raid drills, etc.
Did you actually learn anything at school, or is it just a bunch of drills during this time?
We learned. I remember the day after Pearl Harbor, when we went to school that day, the teacher had a radio in our classroom, and we actually listened to the president making his speech and declaring war on Japan. And we talked a lot. We had maps, and we would look at the different locations, because it wasn't very long to a lot of the students, including myself, had family members in the service, and we tried to keep track of where they were.
So do you have like any school closings because of like the war?
Yes, we did. Wasn't actually because of the war, but in the spring, or in the winter, we had a very bad flu epidemic. And so they closed the school for a week or so because of the illness, because we didn't have a lot of doctors. Some of the doctors had been drafted, and medicine was very scarce. So they thought if they closed the school for an extended period, it would help to control the
So they could send the medicine to the war
right.
people. How did you feel about the government? Did you feel like they were doing a lot to help, or no one trusted the government?
At that time?
Yeah.
At that time, I think everybody pretty much trusted our president and our government.
After the war was over, was it possible for you to forget about the war, or did your life change because of the war?
Life changed some, mainly because our family structure changed. When my brothers came back from the service, they took different jobs, moved to different locations.
With all of that said about what do you think of war? What is war to you?
Well, it's been said war is a necessary evil, and I think it is. There's times when war is the only answer, but there's times, I think, when maybe we rush into war too quickly.
Thank you for your time.
You're quite welcome, Trevor.